Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's a quarter to 10 on December 22nd as we await this storm, and let's go through all the different things that we have that we are under right now. All right, we are under a. Let's go to the weather and hazards map. I guess we'll do that first. I could do that too. Coastal flood warning, which oddly is not showing up on this map. But we are under coastal flood warning right now. So we still have the coastal flood warning in effect. That's in effect from 3 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday. All right. And high wind warning, that's off to the east. We have the wind advisory that is in effect for us. So let's look at the latest radar right now. You kind of see it on the bottom here. This is the radar, and you can see we're getting some rain. However, the rain hasn't really been that bad so far. It's been very light. Much of the afternoon to the evening really hasn't been raining. We're starting to see some of that steadier rain move in now. This is the AccuWeather radar. You can see, again, that heavier rain there just off to the south there. That's moving into the area. And you can see it stretches into Pennsylvania. But this area, there really isn't a whole lot going on. There's more going on over here. And then as we pull out, this is the actual cold front you see here. Look at that. Big difference there. Look at Cincinnati getting ready to shift from rain over to snow. And so quite a massive storm. If we look at the satellite image, look at this thing. You can really see the blow up of lift over here and convection. It's mainly offshore. So all that moisture is mainly staying kind of offshore here at this point. So I wonder if those rainfall totals that were being predicted are going to verify, because they may not wind up verifying at all with this. Let's go look at the CONUS view. So you can take a look at the whole storm. Here it is. There it is. There's the entire storm for you. You can see, again, there's the sort of draw out what's going on here. And if we draw it out, which we can do right now, our low is over here in the Great Lakes, right? This is a warm front right here. And this is the cold front right here. And this is your Arctic front right here. All right, and behind it, we have a high pressure system and very, very cold air that has come down all the way from Siberia. All right, that's some very cold air, and you can see it's gone right into Texas right now. So we're going to take a look at some of these temperatures across the country, and you're going to be like, what? So, yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. So let's go look at our current conditions outside right now. And you can see as we pan out, you can see the blizzard. Well, these are, I guess this is, what is this, a blizzard warning out here still? Blizzard warning. There's no snow falling. It's just snow blowing around. But take a look at some of these conditions here. So at Watertown, which is another Watertown, it's 15 below. Let's take a look and see what it's like in Chicago right now. Chicago's at 3 degrees right now. And look at these conditions. So look at how far south this cold air has gone. So if we go into Texas right now, it's colder in Texas than it is here. Waco, Texas, 16 degrees. Even if you go to the coast of Texas, like Houston, Galveston's 34. I mean, literally right on the Gulf of Mexico. It's bitterly cold there, which is insane. 16 degrees. We did that 16 at Waco. Austin is 20. So that's how cold it is. And then if you go up north into Oklahoma, you got single digits at Oklahoma City right now. So 6 degrees right there. All right. Maybe that's not Oklahoma City. It's by Oklahoma City. So this is the kind of cold air that has come down into the area. And if you go into Nebraska, like here, then you're at 8 below there, which is, like I said, just insanely cold. Then if you go even further north into the Dakotas, this is where you're dealing with some really extreme conditions here, like Bismarck. I mean, how would you like to deal with 12 below with a northwest wind to 24, gusting to 29? So that's wind chills, like, forget about it, wind chills. So this is what's heading our way. All right. So let's go look at, and if we look at the actual front here, so let's look at Ohio here. And we'll go look at Cincinnati here. And actually see where the front is right here. So ahead of the front, we got 40s. But behind the front, the temperatures quickly drop into the teens. So literally over a span of just a little short distance. So let's see. Right now, 41 in Wilmington. the shade of this layer is always too thick, and it needs to be lowered so I can see the cities. Thank you. So Springfield, Missouri. I think this is Springfield, Missouri here. It's 41, all right? But if we go over here to Indianapolis, 3 degrees. So this is not a very big distance here. And look at that difference in temperature. So maybe a difference of like 100 miles, a few hundred miles, and the temperature is like 40 degrees colder or 50 degrees colder. That's insane. That's how strong this cold front is that's coming our way. So get ready for it tomorrow, all right? Right now, though, in our area, the winds have picked up. The rain is starting. We have temperatures generally in the 40s, and they have been rising. So let's look at islip right now. You can get islip on the screen here. Obviously, we're probably at our high temperatures for the day. They'll continue to rise throughout the night. We're just kind of waiting for the information to pop back up on the screen again, which we know this site can be a pain with loading things. Come on. Zooming in and out. Come on. Oh, you showed up for a minute. There you go. All right. 46 at islip right now. So you can see the temperatures have risen. Not a whole lot of rain right now so far. 46. You can see the temperatures have risen. Well, they've been pretty much steady in the mid-40s with that very stiff east wind that's picked up. You could see we're starting to see some of those winds gusting a little more now. And the winds are going to pick up a lot more as we get into the later part of the night. Let's go look at our lows, overnight lows. And you can see, look at Jersey already in the 50s. So that's the warmth that's coming our way. If we look at Berkeley Township, 52, dew point 52. So, yeah, the dew points are definitely getting higher. The moisture is climbing, and the barometer, the air pressure is falling quite rapidly as well, which actually is having an effect on my shoulder and making it hurt quite a bit. So, yeah, we did have some radiational cooling overnight, 19 over there in West Hampton, 21 in the Pine Barrens there in New Jersey. So they did see some radiational cooling. The rest of us were in the mid-20s. So these days, this is going to feel toasty compared to this time tomorrow night, for sure. So, yeah, it's going to get cold in a hurry. So let's go look at the models now, and you'll see here's your low-pressure center right here, warm front and cold front. This shifts off to the east. That low pressure goes up right in upstate New York. Cold front comes through tomorrow, and then we have this big high that starts building down. You see we're going to be kind of in this cyclonic circulation with this, literally, this cold air is just coming right down. I mean, it's not a direct hit, but, I mean, it's, you can draw it out again on here. It is bitterly cold air that's literally coming right down from the Arctic. So this is Arctic air coming right down, squeeze play with the low and the high, keeping the wind machine going as well. Maybe some lake effect as well. It's going to be bitterly cold on the weekend with this high again, and fair weather and then we'll see some moderation as we head to next week. But let's focus on the storm that we have to deal with tonight into tomorrow. So let's go to the HRRR now, a 0Z run, and see what the HRRR is doing with the rain. Because the rain's not as impressive as we thought, and it doesn't really look all that impressive as it was. I mean, we'll have some periods of showers, but I think it's really scaled back. That's with the warm front. Then we're in the warm sector for the morning tomorrow, and then here comes the front in the right around noon with a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm, and then the temperatures rapidly drop behind that front. And they get much colder, and as we head into Saturday, you'll see we may even see some flurries out on the east end, depending on which way the wind blows. There may be some Long Island Sound effect, lake effect as well, but the westerly to southwesterly wind flow, I think, keeps the lake effect plumes away from us. Let's go look at the temperatures, or we'll look at the dew points here, and again, I'll show you this front here that's coming through. So, again, you'll see those dew points rise. It's going to be a little moist in the morning hours tomorrow. And then we start seeing a little bit of that's weird how you get a little bit of moisture and then it backs off a little bit, even though we're in the warm sector. We still have the strong southerly winds, and then boom, here comes the cold front. And that's when I think we might see our strongest winds. Right around noon, temperatures drop quickly from the 40s. They're in the 30s for a couple of minutes. Then we're in the 20s. And then we are these are the dew points actually, but you see that dry air coming in. That's really dry air, 2 points below zero. So that kind of shows you the origin of that air mass. All right. Now we'll go to the temperatures. All right, so your air temperatures at 50s 40s, and then as you get into the afternoon, again, when that front comes through, you're going to go from 40s. You're going to be in the 30s for maybe like 20 minutes. Then it's going to drop into the 20s, and then after that, by the evening, you're going to be dealing with teens. And look at this. This is actually showing. These are air temperatures. It's showing us getting down into the single digits, maybe even below zero, sometime Saturday morning. So that is going to be quite cold, quite cold. And then for Saturday, I think we may not even make it out of the teens at this point. It's actually looking colder now for Saturday. I don't even think we'll see the 20s. I think we're going to be only in the teens on Saturday. At least the HRRR is really showing that this is going to be some really cold air coming in. This because the air mass is moving so fast, it just doesn't have a chance to modify. And this is really bitterly cold air. And if that rain does not evaporate fast enough, we may see flash freeze. So let's go look at our total accumulated precip here. You'll see it's backed off on the rain. I think a lot of us are going to see less than an inch. Maybe the east end gets a little more than an inch, but I think a lot of us are going to see less than that now. It's really backed up off on the rain. Snowfall, can't rule out a dusting behind the front, perhaps. And of course, if there are any snow showers that form off the water, we may see that too, especially east end. All right. That's going to be hard to predict, but it depends on the wind. If the wind is from the west, chances are it won't. But, if it's a little more northwesterly, then we could see that. We'll have to see. It's very hard to say, but I'm thinking that there will be definitely some, especially if you're on the islands out in the Cape, you're definitely going to see some of that snowfall, a little more of that snowfall, the ocean effect snowfall. So it's crazy. It's going to be a crazy cold front coming through. All right. I want to look at a couple of other models, but I think the HRRR is really handling this one the best. Can look at the NAM as well. NAM 3 with the temperatures, and then we're going to look at the winds. That's the other concern that we have. So this is the NAM, and again, showing that convective stuff in the morning there we could see. And then here comes the cold front with a couple of showers right around noon to 1 o'clock, and then the temperatures rapidly drop behind it. And as far as the possibility of seeing those ocean effect snow showers that we may see. So let me go move this over to the GFS now, and we will go and look at our temperatures beyond that. So this is the GFS look at the temperatures. Not quite as crazy as the HRRR with the temperatures, but I still think we're going to see temperatures. I still think we're going to see temperatures possibly in the single digits because it might be just underestimating how cold this air mass is. It's really going to be coming in quick. And then for Saturday, I think we struggle to get to the 20s. Maybe we'll make it there. Maybe we won't. But it's going to be very cold and windy too. And at night, temperatures drop into the teens, maybe single digits again. Sunday, Christmas Day, we see a little more of a moderation. It lets up. Now we're going to have highs in the mid-20s. And then as we get toward Monday, we're still going to have highs only in the upper 20s. We don't really make it above freezing until possibly Tuesday. So we'll have at least a good solid 3 days below freezing. So a lot of stuff is going to freeze over with that. That's going to be a quick freeze. All right. The next thing we'll look at is the wind, but I prefer using a different model for this on the wind. But I'll use this one. So this is the wind, and this is the other concern that we have here. This is the wind, and we have to watch those stronger winds again. With the front, you can see it looks like the worst of it would be out east and on the south shore. And then you can see those strong winds that we're going to have. And so we're going to have pretty strong wind chills as well. So let me go to the cloud forecast, obviously. We'll look at the clouds next. And obviously tomorrow, I think we'll have plenty of clouds, but we may see some clearing in the afternoon, maybe, with this front. And then it's really going to be hard to tell you what's going to happen. You can see it's showing a lot of clouds, this model. It seems to have a hole over New Jersey, perhaps. Sunday, a little less on the cloud department. Monday, it's very hard. This is the GFS, so this is a low resolution GFS. And if I want to use its sister model, the high resolution, there isn't a whole lot to work with. Here's Saturday, not only showing us a couple of frames here. Here's Saturday, and then Sunday, it's only giving us out to 12Z. I can look at the RGM, which is the model of choice that I prefer to do with the clouds. Here we are for, again, Saturday, and you see that ocean effect here, and it really, RGM really just has a lot of clouds over us. Perhaps lake effect, debris, we'd have to see. And again, if the clouds hang around, that may be more likely to keep the temperatures lower as well, and keep the temperatures only in the teens perhaps. Again, this bitterly cold air. And then Sunday we see less of that ocean effect. We have clearer skies. And that's Christmas Day, of course. Christmas Eve, again, bitterly cold. Christmas Day will be cold as well, but not quite as bad. And then that's as far as I've got on the RGEM. As far as that, there's the NAM 3 as well, which we can use. That gives me out to here's Saturday, showing again some clouds. There's like a big area of clouds that kind of comes through. Sunday is clearer, it looks like, but it only goes out to 12Z, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of ocean effect that's going to have it. With the west wind, it kind of keeps the ocean effect. It's going to be more of an issue, I think, for eastern Long Island. If you're in New Jersey, maybe you're more likely to have clear skies. But now let's go to the winds. I'm going to use the Vent2 Sky model for this, so we can look at what's going to be happening with the winds as we head into the overnight. And we'll first look at, this is the HRRR's wind model. So these are sustained winds. Let me get this over here as sustained winds here. So you see sustained winds. Nothing terrible. Here we are at 4 o'clock. This is when it starts getting worse. We start seeing sustained winds around 40. At the coast, you might see sustained winds around 30 to 40 miles an hour. And, of course, you have that coastal flooding threat, too. Here we are. Coastal winds up to 45, 46. These are sustained over the east end. Looks like the east end gets the worst of it. And then the actual cold front, which comes through in the afternoon here, which could bring, again, it doesn't look terrible on the sustained wind map. But you can see offshore there's some pretty strong sustained winds with it. But if we go and move this over to wind gusts, which is what I really want to look at here, these are the gusts that you're gonna have gusts. So by 3 a.m. you're gonna see those gusts over 50 miles an hour in a lot of areas, and that southeast wind is gonna pile the water up. And this is what's scary. Look at 4 a.m. 66 miles an hour. So the HRRR is really gung ho on these strong winds. That's my concern. Some of the convection and just the pressure gradient. This is such a deep low. You got these strong winds with this LLJ ahead of this low here. And then you can see some of those pockets of strong winds with the showers. You can see the way it looks, it's blotchy. So that indicates that it would be related to showers and thunderstorms. And then as we head toward the noontime hours, then you have the wind gusts with the actual cold front here, which could also be pretty bad. Like I said, a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust is not out of the question. You get very strong winds. Here we are in the afternoon. You can see the front's tracking more to the east. 3 p.m. And then finally the front is out of here, and we're just dealing with wind gusts 44. But again, 5 o'clock, 44-mile-an-hour wind gust, temperature is only in the 20s, and it's going to feel pretty bad out there. And then we have, of course, the coastal flooding aspect of it too. So if we go and look at the waves here, this is the other issue that we have to worry about here with these strong winds. Looks like it's dialed it back a little bit. But still, I think with those winds, there's going to be, because the timing is at the high tide, I think there's going to be significant flooding and beach erosion. 15-footer waves, perhaps, right at the beach. So it's going to be a lot. This is going to cause a lot of flooding here. All right. I'm surprised that they don't have a high wind warning for us. So they have a wind advisory. I would really upgrade it to a high wind warning, in my opinion. I think that's you're going to see the worst of that, like I said, in the overnight hours, for sure. And of course, this could cause a lot of power outages and stuff like that. So let's now go and look at the clouds on this model here. All right. So you know, a chance you kind of see where the actual cold front is. You can see the clearing trying to get in here. So let me look at Saturday on this. Keeps us pretty cloudy on Saturday. Yeah, it has us pretty socked in. Oddly enough, even though it's clear, they are having clear weather in the. I want to look at something for a minute. Sunday, it's out of the rain. That's the icon. It's not the same model. They may be overdoing it with the clouds. We'll have to see. But let's now go and look at one more model here. One more thing to look at. And that is going to be, what was I going to look at? The windy.com model? Windy.com model. Let's look at this here. This is the windy.com model. You're using the European on the winds. These are the winds here, and these are sustained winds, not gusts. And you can see it gets pretty bad. Like I said, that wee hours of the morning is when the worst of the wind is going to be with us, I think. The actual front, I don't think will be as bad, but that LLJ is going to be pretty bad, and that's my concern. And again, this is wind, and this is wind gusts. So this is what we have to worry about here. These very strong wind gusts here that could cause a lot of problems. And again, these winds are picking up right now. Let's go look at the power outage situation here. Look at the power outage map. You can see there's a lot of power outages in Texas. That's probably related to the cold, I bet. Or maybe the wind, who knows? There are quite a few there. 84,000 without power. And that also means no heat. Missouri as well, 14,000. So we are seeing power problems from this storm as well. In our area, New Jersey, 2,000. Nothing crazy. Let's look at New York. We have 4,000, mostly upstate. Long Island, not seeing too many, but I think those numbers are going to change as we get into later in the evening. And I'll keep you updated on this storm. And again, this is going to be one hell of a weather whiplash. Last thing I'll look at here is the MODIS satellite before I wrap up this weather update. And you can see here, I don't know if those are clouds or snow. It's kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell at this point. Could be clouds or snow. I don't know. Hard to tell, but we'll have to see if we can get some sunshine with this air mass. But these air mass, because the air mass is heavily unstable, we can see it. We have a tendency to see a lot of instability cloudiness. So we'll have to see if we can get some sunshine. I think it more likely would be on Christmas Day versus on Christmas Eve day on Saturday. But thank you for watching this weather update. We'll keep you posted on this storm. I'll have another update sometime in the wee hour of the morning as the things ramp up in our area as this crazy storm approaches. Have a good night.